Well, good morning. How are you there? Don't know about where you are, but right here in the northwest of England, we have a beautiful sunny morning today. And it, for me, is the perfect time to start improving on our digital skills. So today, it's a warm welcome to you to this Google Digital Garage training session on how to get started with digital advertising. Now, my name's Christine, and I'm a trainer for Google's free skills training program, the Google Digital Garage. I'm a marketeer by trade. I've been working in marketing since before it was even digital. And in that time, I have helped hundreds of smaller businesses, as well as some of the UK's best known brands to improve their connection with their customers, to work out what next. And that's what today I think is going to be all around. So don't do this alone. Alongside me today, I've got our wonderful moderator, Roshane. Now, Roshane's also one of our Google Digital Garage coaches and is super experienced. So use her brain as much as you can. You can jump into the chat right now, and Roshane's waiting there to help you with your questions. She will be posting useful links, and she'll be just adding extra dimensions to the webinar as we go through. You can tell you're speaking to the moderator, and she's the one in charge. Firstly, she's called Roshane. She has a little blue spanner next to her name, and she'll be the one who holds everything together. So do jump into the chat and say hello. To do that, you're going to need to be signed into a YouTube account. So if you're not signed in at the moment, really simple, just click on the box up on the right there, sign up or sign in. By the time you've done that, we'll have finished with the instructions and be ready to get started. Now, I can see some of you have already. Why not jump into the chat right now, say hi to Roshane and let her know why you've joined us today. Maybe you're joining us on behalf of a business, so tell us a little bit about your business. Tell us what you're trying to achieve. The more we know about what you want to get out of this session, the much better we can help you with it. If you have any trouble viewing the webinar, either right now or at any point, then just try refreshing your page. That tends to help things out. If you need them, the captions should be running for you. There should be a little CC somewhere on your screen. That's where you'll find our captions. If you want to join in the instant chat, as I say, please do. We are going to pause throughout the session. So as well as Roshane answering questions as we go through, we've also got a chance to have some live questions answered. So if there's any that she thinks are not, sorry, that maybe I haven't answered well enough, or that would be great for the whole group to hear, Roshane's going to send me those questions and we'll try and get them answered live on air together. And so you do know, we're running this Google Digital Garage virtual training as part of our broader offering of courses. So if you want to check out our schedule of upcoming webinar training, see the information on that. It's in the description below. We'll link you through to our website. To be honest, it's probably how you found us this morning, but if not, do feel free to check that out for loads more resources. Okay, that's the housekeeping done. Let's get started with digital advertising. So we're going to break today down into 3 sections for you. We're going to start with search advertising. That's being there when somebody searches for a business like yours. We're going to look at display advertising, which is a surprisingly easy to get involved with, actually, method of advertising, where for somebody to be searching for a business like yours, they've got to know what they're after. With display, you can get them before they even realize that they're looking. So you can capture them and help generate interest rather than just waiting for that interest to come to you. And another way of doing that, and other things beside, is social media advertising. So it's all about engaging with your potential customers on social networks, things like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, tons of different ways of doing it. So we'll have a look at some of those. Now, if you are, I know we've probably got an international audience with us this morning, but if you are based here in the UK, and if you work for a small business or for a charity as well, then I wanted to let you know of this amazing opportunity to have a free one-to-one mentoring session from Google. As I say, these sessions are completely free and can help you one-to-one on a range of digital skills. So you might need support building your strategy. You might want to get to grips a little bit more with the how-tos of the tools we're going to talk about today. You can sign up for that and book a session at g.co/UK mentoring, and the team would be happy to help you out. Okay, so I said we'd start with search. So search advertising is advertising on search engines, things like Google, things like Bing. All right, so why might a business like yours want to do that? Maybe you want to gather maybe you've already started optimizing your website to be found and you want to give that a boost. That's a great time to be thinking about that search advertising, okay? So you might have seen something like this a few times. This is the search engine results page. What I want you to do from now on is every time you do a search, you are not just doing a search, you are doing some research. All right, so your search engine results page contains lots and lots of information. The search engine results pages have evolved and developed and grown through the years. But when we're talking about the text-based search results, you've got two areas. Somebody at the top tippity taps in that search query. I like to think of them as queries, as questions. We search less by single words and much more with phrases in those questions, okay? So somebody types something into, in our case, Google. Then, clearly marked, you might see some paid ads. On the search engine results page, you might also see some images or a map or a fact file. Lots of different ways of getting in front of your customers, but we're going to focus right now on those text ads. And then below that, you have the organic listings, okay? Ads are paid listings. They appear up to 4 slots above those organic listings. And they are always, always, always clearly marked with that little word ad in green. This might be titchy tiny on your screen, especially if you're watching on a mobile device. But don't worry, you can go and do a search and see this for real anytime after the session. With your organic listings, there's a lot of work goes into getting yourself found for these search terms. And as I say, what sometimes happens is there might be so much competition for what it is that you're trying to talk about. Or you might be struggling to get found on those first few results, that boosting with an ad can be a really strong strategy. So let's take a little bit of an explanation. All right, so we've got Paulie's Pizzeria. Paulie is the kind of business that most of us, if we've never worked in a small restaurant, we've probably been there as a customer. So we can use our business thinking and apply it to that customer situation. So Paulie's Pizzeria are an Italian restaurant, and they are situated in Edgbaston in Birmingham. All right. It's a really competitive market. There's lots of competition for places to go to eat and, what to have for tea tonight, So Paulie has done a lot of good work, but wants to increase his sales and is interested in how that digital advertising can help. So we'll come back to thinking about how that kind of business can help it. All right. So we've got here a 4-step process for search engine marketing. Okay. And we'll go through these steps one by one, and we'll have similar processes for digital as well as for social, all right? But the first step, pretty much for any marketing that you do, is understanding your customers, all right? Who are they? Realistically, who are they? This is what makes everything else happen, all right? So you need to really have a good understanding of those customers. And this is where I'll often say to people, start with the search engine optimization, okay? The optimization can help you learn a lot and then boost it with ads. But then you're going to need to work out what words you want to bid on. These are your keywords. And when we talk about keywords, we're going to think about words and phrases. Then we're going to think about actually the ads themselves. And then we're going to show you how to pull it all together. It feels intimidating, but actually it's quite simple, and we're going to go through it step by step. Okay? So step one, understanding your customers. Who are your audience? Who are you trying to reach? So you might want to find people like your existing customers. If you have existing customers who know you and who like you and who you know, a great way to use digital advertising is to find more people like them. All right. You might know, for instance, depending on the kind of business, that your customers are quite local to you. Something like a pizzeria is going to have a really strong geographic reach. We probably don't order pizza from more than a couple of miles away if we're having it delivered. Definitely if we're going to go and collect it, probably even smaller distance. If we're going out to eat, there might be different geographies involved. So think about, for your business, is there a local intent? Is there some kind of geography that's going to help you? Start making lists of the people and what you know about them. And then the sorts of things that are important to them. How do we know what's important to our customers? Well, we could ask them. We could also look at how they've reviewed us. Think about things they like and dislike, and not just in our reviews, but there might be businesses like ours. Our competition might be local competition, but it might be people in different areas of the country doing the same sort of thing in the same sort of way. So do lots of reading around about your customers, read the reviews. I love, if somebody else has had less than positive reviews, think about how you can use that intelligence to inform what you might want to see. So when it comes to your customers, okay, think about who they are. And a great way to do this is maybe to start breaking them out into categories or clusters of people, what we might call a segment of your audience. All right, so people like our existing customers. Paulie has noticed that quite a few of the people who come in to his restaurant are students. And think about the students. What's going to be of interest to the students? What's going to be motivating? Maybe they love the deals. Maybe they want to get loads of pizza all at once. Maybe they buy quite regularly. Maybe something loyalty-wise would work for them. So think about the kinds of audiences. Students is one audience. It's a very different audience. Yes, they both like pizza, but busy professionals. Busy professionals, what's going on? Well, maybe they're trying to grab that pizza in between other things going in their life. Maybe it's important that they can order in advance and it's ready for them when they need it. So think about who those people are. They probably also know, because they're a smaller business, they do really authentic toppings, and they have lots of good quality ingredients that they use, and they cook the pizzas in an authentic manner. So actual people who just love pizza. And maybe a third audience for them. So 3 different groups, 3 different kind of motivations, 3 different behavior patterns you're going to see, which means you can't just talk to everybody the same way. Those 3 different groups are going to be looking in different places at different times, and potentially with their search words for different things. So the next thing, think about where they are. So this is a great one, as I say, if you have a geographic intent, state out that geographic intent. Paulie's are really lucky, really. They can reduce their audience size, their potential net that they're looking at, because they know Edgbaston, Selly Oak and B15 are the kinds of places that customers like theirs buy from. If you don't have such a strong local intent, you might still think of the kinds of people, if you were trying to find, if you did have a student audience, you're more likely to have those student audience populated in areas of London or Manchester or Liverpool, those university towns. You can still target geographically like that. You wouldn't necessarily be going out to the rural areas. So be thinking about how you can start to reduce the number of people you're talking to, and really think about, when it comes to you and what you sell, what's important to those people. We go a lot deeper into personas, which is what we're kind of building here, in our Writing for Social Media webinar. So if you can catch that one, it's probably a good one to do it. And as I say, those reviews they're leaving, talking to the people, why, Sam, you've been here 3 times this month. Great to have you back. What is it that keeps you coming back? Listening into that feedback, learning what's important to those customers. Now, I can see we've got lots of questions coming in about keywords. All right. So the next step is to think about those words. First thing is your keywords are not normally just single words. All right. And I do think keyword is a bit of a misleading term, really. If we were renaming it, I'd be thinking of key phrases. Okay, the phrases that do contain individual words, but really intent, especially, different words in different orders can have different intent. So be thinking about those questions, those phrases that people are looking for. And they are literally the things that people type in to the search engine that you might want to match with, right? So for your ad to appear, you need one of your keywords that you're bidding on to match some part of that user's query. Okay, that's how it works as a matching. So lots of different ways, and as I can see we've got questions coming through about keywords. All right, I would start. There's two ways to kind of approach it. One is using your knowledge that you already have and starting to build out lists of words, and then there's putting those into lots of different phrases and grouping them together. So let's take it for Paulies and do this exercise for yourself. To get those longer phrases, think about matching words that are relevant to your business with another factor. Say some words that are relevant to your location or to a factor of your business. So if you held holidays, it could be all the words reduced with holidays, package holidays, but holidays in the Mediterranean, holidays that are cheap, holidays that are luxurious, all those other dimensions. Okay, so just searching for one word on its own, holidays, or in this case, pizza, you're going to have too wide a net. The more specific you can be with matching your keywords and the intent behind them, the better. So here with Paulie's example, Paulie's looking at pizza. People also search for fast food. People search for takeaway. These are words that really closely relate to what it is that Paulie does. Okay. Now, what Paulie's done to expand his list out is think about location, because location is so important. So pizza in Edgbaston, pizza in B18, pizza in Birmingham. When he starts to put those things out, he actually, by combining two different lists, he's actually come up with 9 different key phrases that people might be looking for. Fast food in Birmingham, takeaway in Edgbaston. Start mixing and matching, a bit like a little roll thing, and start coming up with longer lists. All right. So one way to start building out your keyword lists. Let's take a look at, as I say, those longer phrases you want to be thinking of. So you can play along at home. All right, have a look at these lists. So we've got 4 different businesses, okay? And I want to show you how, thinking about those real terms is going to help you, all right? So a mobile hairdresser's in Birmingham. What kind of phrases might somebody search for, a real customer? They're not going to search in the correct way. I can see, Crystal asking, how do you know what search terms your audience want to see? Ways we can look at it, but people aren't going to, that's really is the flip we want to see there. It's what the people are searching for that you can match to. So mobile hairdresser in Birmingham, that's who you are and what you do, but actually they might search for mobile salon in B21. They might search for hairdresser reviews in Birmingham. And if somebody's looking for hairdresser reviews, there's an intent there. So they're not directly searching to book an appointment right now. But actually, if they're searching for hairdresser reviews, they're on the lookout. So how could you use that intent to serve them with an ad that takes them to your website and shows what you've got? They might not be looking for a mobile hairdresser. They might be a barber in Birmingham. Now, that's really important. If you're a hairdresser, a barber has the intent of doing male hair and cuts and fades and beards and things. If you're a mobile hairdresser that offers that, you definitely want to be bidding for barber. if you're not somebody with barbering skills, don't bid for those terms that, even though they are to do with hair. And this is where there are loads of tools out there that will suggest words for you. Okay. However, they only make any sense to you if you actually do those things. So you have to, when you're using these tools that auto-generate terms, be very careful that you don't just choose all of the terms. Within Google Ads, it will suggest keywords and phrases for you that people are searching for, but only select those words and phrases to go into your bucket, into the word you're going to bid for, if it's something you actually offer. Hope that makes sense. So yeah, that mobile hairdressers. What else did we find? Online fancy dress shop. Men's Halloween costume XXXL. There again, it's a longer phrases that's really specific. There'll be a lot less competition for men's Halloween costume XXXL. And if you have Halloween costumes that suit the larger frame, then it is something that people are going to get frustrated when they look for Halloween costumes and they're all tiny. That smaller section of people that need that bigger frame are going to then iterate their search, make it longer. And if you can very specifically highlight that portion of your offering, because there was a frustration when people couldn't do it, then maybe we'll see. Okay, let's take a look at the answers. We won't go through all of those things together, but there are lots of different ways of mixing together. I love this. The phone repair shop in Birmingham. Where can I fix my iPhone screen? Birmingham. We ask longer questions. So really be thinking about the questions that you are a good answer to. And that actually really works as well for your organic search. It's thinking of those questions and seeing how you're a great answer. You cannot bid for keywords and expect to get traffic if you're not a good answer when the traffic gets there. Now, the internet's full of adverts, so let's have a look at making ads that make people want to click on them. All right, so making your ads engaging is really important. Now, what you've got, and I say it's probably titchy tiny on the screen, is a cut from the Google ad platform. That's the tool we're going to use to pull our ads together. All right, so the keywords that you bid for, you say what you want to be seen for. You then have to create some engaging headlines that match those words. You need to give a description. You need to come up with a call to action. Are they going to buy now, visit our website, book here? All of those things. So really think about what your business offers and how you are going to, in a few words, sum that up and make it exciting and interesting to the people who are doing those searches. And the more relevant you can be, the better. So, for example, ad headlines. You'll have seen these on your ads. You get a few in bright blue at the top. You get a few short words to really grab the attention. Okay. So we said Paulie's had different people who wanted different things. If somebody wants convenience, then the fast 15-minute delivery might be great for them, or scheduled delivery available might be the sort of thing that matches their intent. If people who value an authentic experience, well, maybe that's the live Italian music or the Italian Neapolitan pizza. Okay. Those sorts of different headlines, different offerings for the different intents. And people tell you what their intent is by what they're searching for. So here, how do we know that somebody's valuing an authentic experience? They might search for authentic Italian pizza in Birmingham. They might search for, wood-fired pizzas. And you can use that intent to choose the groupings of your ad. So don't just have one ad that serves everybody. Think about the different intent. So those people who like convenience, it's going to be all about fast delivery, schedule the delivery, quick and all of those words will be in what they search for, that you can match them a different ad, all right? Because different headlines will help you target different intents. So where do we pull that all together? Okay, so this is your place to go for all the different kinds of Google ads. All right. So you log into Google Ads with your Google account. If you don't have a Google account yet for your business, then you're going to create one. All right. Every ad starts with a campaign. There's a big blue circle with a white cross in it. That's your plus button. That's how you start a campaign. All right. And then you click a new campaign. Now, there are different kinds of campaigns. At the moment, we're just going to choose a plain search campaign. What Google Ads does is it walks you through. It asks you, do you want leads? Do you want sales? What do you want to achieve? Then it asks you, what assets do you have? How do you want to go about it? All right. But here we're going to look at a search campaign. Okay. You then need to decide how you're going to target. All right. And there are different things. You might want to start with smaller geographic areas. That's a great way of reducing that pool of people you're talking about. The larger the geographic area, the more search volume you're likely to get, but also maybe the more diluted that pool will be if you are a business with a true local intent. But beyond that, you can start to specify the times of day your ad's going to run, the days of the week your ads want to run. This is really important. Say you're a business that is busy Friday, Saturday, Sunday, for example. Maybe Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But maybe Paulies don't have much in the way of customers on a Tuesday night or a Wednesday night. Maybe they're so quiet on a Monday that they even close. You can run there's no point running ads, especially ones promising fast 15-minute delivery, if you're already busy. And you're already doing as much business as you can. So you can turn the ads on and off. That also means you might run deals on a Tuesday that are different to your Wednesday deals. For that takeaway pizza, you might have a Wednesday night football deal. Or, an escape the football deal, depending on who you're trying to target. You might know that something goes on in the student areas on a Thursday that you're going to try and tie in with. Okay, so you can think about the actual timings of the ad. These are really easy to turn on and turn off as you go. Then you're going to add in those keyword lists, and you can also use the keyword planner here, which is the tool that will, based on looking at your website and looking at the words that you put in, it will suggest more options. That's a great way for everybody who's asking about how do you find those keywords. There is an auto-generated tool, the keyword planner, within the Google Ad platform. It will tell you likely search volumes for each of these terms. But as I say, it won't tell you whether they're actually relevant to you and actually relevant to your business. So do apply some thought. Don't just add them all into your ad grouping. Okay. The tighter your lists of words, the more relevant your ads are to your customers, the better they're going to perform. And then you pull it all together. So you have to have a URL. To run a Google ad, you have to take a Google search ad has to take your customers to a web page. If you pay all that time and then you run the ads with the money and the bidding, it's going to be a waste of all that if when you get to the website, it isn't a good experience. All right. So before you turn the ads on, make sure that you're taking them to a good page within your website that makes it easy to complete the tasks that you've said. If it's book now, buy here, order online, take them directly into the page that they can book now, buy there, or order straight away. Don't make them search again. I hate the experience. So if I've searched for blue shoes and you take me to your general shoes page, when I've specified blue shoes, I really want to come through to the page that has your blue shoes on it. If I've specified blue shoes and you take me to your home page and make me search again, and you don't even have blue shoes, that's going to make me very angry indeed. So make sure you're only bidding for things that make sense, for things that you can actually deliver. It's not just about scooping up traffic. It's about making sure you convert as much of those ad spend as possible, in to do which you need to make sure, excuse me, that you are tracking with Google Analytics once it gets to your website, and you're actually feeding that back in. And then you can optimize for leads, optimize for conversions, and make sure you're spending your budget wisely. All right. I'm going to jump in and just check in with Roshane and see. Wow, we've got tons of questions coming in. This is phenomenal. I love that. I think quite a lot of them we've spoken about keywords and things. So in terms of sites for searching keywords, there are lots of keyword generators. It's not something I would use particularly, but you can search those up. What I would always use is the keyword planner within Google Ads itself. That's a really good way, and it looks at your website and helps you by searching, but make sure you use that human brain as well. Okay, brilliant. So what I'm going to do, there's also, Crystal asked a question, there are tools to help you create a compelling advert or templates we can follow. The Google Ad platform is templated. It says, here's your headlines, here's your descriptions. There's no handle to turn to churn these out. You have to use your creativity. You have to use the fact you know about. What I would do is do some searches for various things, maybe products like yours, businesses similar to yours, and see the ads that come up and see which ones work well for you. Don't copy them, but think, right, there's a style that's really helpful, that people are matching the keywords and, using descriptions that are really interesting. There's no magic dust that you can sprinkle over this. This is you doing some research, looking at your industry, looking at your market, and really, really knowing your customers. The good thing is with smart campaigns now, you can put in a couple of options and allow the machine learning within the smart campaigns within Google Ads to actually, you put in 5 different headlines, it will run some experiments and it will optimize for the headlines and descriptions that work best for your outcomes. So that's what we're looking at when we're talking about the smart campaigns within the search ads. So that's something to look at. But at some point, you need to just put some words together and get them out there and give it a try. Okay. Brilliant. And I've just seen one come through about the procedure to set up a landing page in Google Ads. You build your landing page on your website. I'll just jump back here and see that third box under step 6. You've got two areas there to put your URLs. The final URL is the link to the landing page that you want the website, the advert to go to. That's the top thing there on that. Then you've got headline, then you've got path. Now, path will always start with Paulie's Pizza, in this case, .co.uk, your website address. But then you get 2 places to neaten up that URL. And rather than it saying, paulie'spizza.co.uk /87642 ordering, you can get it to say two words that actually match what the people are searching for. So in this, they've gone for /pizza /takeaway. All right. And actually, that's helping to show the intent. They've picked 2 of the keyest of keywords that related to their business, and they've made those the path. So that's what displays to the ad, whereas actually the final URL is the landing page it takes you to. That's not on the ad. It's just where the redirect goes. Hope that makes sense, Jazz. Do let Roshane know if it doesn't. I'm not sure how we could explain it any easier though. All right, then, we've jumped through questions. Let's take a look at display advertising. Display advertising is quite different. Okay, so with a search ad, somebody has to have that intent. And the great thing about search is you go from search to buy quite quickly. It's a short sales cycle. And you can really say, people search for this, I drove this much traffic, I spent this much money, and this is the sales I got, so long as you're tying in the Google Analytics. Display is a bit different. Display gets your messages out onto other people's websites, so people don't even have to be searching to start to see you and to know about you, okay? It's a bit like having a billboard, all right? In the old days, actually, outdoor advertising is still very much a thing. But billboard, outdoor advertising, in the old days, you would choose an image and some text and pull them together and make an ad. You'd then paste it up. You'd choose the street it was going to be on, and you would hope that during the day, enough of the people who were the right kind of people walked past your billboard, and enough of those people saw your billboard, and that some of them started to notice you and it goes into the kind of subconscious, into the back of the mind. It's a lot less direct. It's not about I spend this, I sell this. It's about I spend this and people start to talk about me, start to think about me, start to consider me in their buying decisions. So it's a lot higher up in that sales funnel. It's in that awareness phase. We're trying to build awareness. You can also use it lower down, but we'll talk about that in a second. So display adverts allow your messages to be seen when people aren't necessarily looking directly for you. And that's why they are so powerful. We used to be, when they first started, they were probably called banner ads. All right. And you used to have to go to the company and you would have to, have a negotiation with the website. There's now this amazing thing called the Google Display Network. And you have a lot of help in getting your ads out onto different people's websites. Okay. Display ads come in all kinds of shapes and sizes. But the ones that seem to have the best reach, the most compelling ones, are visual ads. So think of ways you can incorporate images to tell your story. All right. Here, we've just got a few examples coming up. And the one that leaps out to me straight away is free chocolate. Honestly, you had me at free chocolate. Nothing beyond that. Image ads can actually get people to click. A lot of the time, though, image ads are about you almost get seen without necessarily being noticed straight away. And it allows the brain, if the brain sees your messages enough, it will start to just absorb them. It's kind of magical, really. All right. So display advertising is very different from search. With search, you're choosing the words you want to bid on. You're serving an ad when people have that intent and are actively searching. Display is serving ads across different websites, driving awareness, getting into the minds of people. All right. So it's a much longer path to purchase. You are jumping in earlier in that customer journey is super important. All right. So here's your 4-stage plan. First up, we're going to understand those customers. Then we're going to think about placement. Where do we want to be seen? Then we'll look at how we pull those ads together with the great creative and then looking at the tool itself. All right. We're still using Google Ads, the platform, but for display, we need to pull in pictures as well. All right. So this time, when we're thinking about our audience, we are still finding those existing customers. Maybe they're students, maybe they're those busy professionals, those pizza lovers. But this time, when we're thinking about where they are, we're thinking less necessarily about their geographic reach and more about the kinds of places that they go to get information. Are they reading food blogs? Are they searching on what's on guides, student websites? What are they doing going about their daily life? How I best think about display ads is display ads they're going to change depending on the person searching for them. So imagine if you and a friend with quite different, or you and a relative, both go and look at the same website, you'll probably see different ads being served around. That's because it's not just about the website you're going on, but a lot more about your intent, a lot more about what else you're interested in. So how on earth do you go about finding those ideas? The placement, you do not have to decide which website you're going to appear on for yourself. All right. The Google Display Planner will help you with the placement ideas. It will show you the kinds of places you can be seen. help you find websites that are relevant to your business, but it can also allow you to say, actually, I don't want to be associated with that particular website for whatever reason. All right. So it gives you the ideas. And here you'll see the different ad formats and also how relevant your ads are to them. So you do not have to go about and work out, well, which food blogs, which student website directories. The Google Ads Planner will help you by doing that, the Google Display Planner. Okay. Next thing you need to do is create that creative for your ads. Okay. The more visually descriptive you can be, the better. The more visually appealing your ads are, the more likely they're going to be to stand out, the more likely they are to tell your story really strongly. Okay, so make those ads as appealing as you can. What we've got here is a great example for Paulie's. You know, we've got Paulie's Pizzeria. We can see their name. It's got pizza in Edgbaston. So we've gone back to those headlines that we had before. What is it? It's pizza in Edgbaston. They're running an offer, buy one pizza, get a second one free. Now, which of those two ads? We've got one which is a beautiful image of fresh, authentic, great ingredients pizza being made by hand. This isn't something that's been churned out in a factory. Okay, so we've got that great image that tells us all those things. And next to it, we've got just one that's a text-based ad. For me, I would definitely, okay, your offer is quite big and you buy one pizza, get the second one free. That's a really strong offer. But actually, for catching my attention, that pizza in Edgbaston, which is the beautiful mouth-watering image, is probably going to be a great one to be looking at. It's going to be much more compelling. So how do you pull all that together? So we know who your customers are, where they're hanging out online. We've thought about placements. We're going to jump back into Google Ads. All right. So just as before, we sign into Google Ads, we create an account if we don't have one already, and we press the big blue plus button. But this time, instead of a search campaign, we're looking for a display campaign. And again, it will ask us for our intent. Are we looking for sales or leads or traffic or brand awareness? And it's going to help us with our decisions. The tool will guide you through. So you just click through step by step. Now, next, you're going to think about targeting. How do you want to target people? With Paulie's, again, they actually want to restrict the number of people who see their ads to people who are within the distance of people who are likely to buy their product. Okay. Other ways you can target based on interest. You can target based on search words that they've used. Lots of ways you can get involved with targeting. But if you can restrict it by geography, then you are definitely on to a winner. Then it's about looking at some of those relevant website placements with that display planner tool. But the next thing you want to be doing is creating your advert. All right. And here again, it's not just, we're not expecting you to be a graphic design whiz. What you actually do is you feed in some assets, some images. You feed in your logo. You feed in some good headlines that are going to make people want to click. Little bit of description. And then you pull it all together, or the tool pulls it all together and shows you how your ad will look in different formats. And rather than you then having to say, right, there's a horizontal banner and there's a vertical banner and there's a square box and there's this, it will, if you feed in the right assets, it will use its intelligence to pull those ads together for you, right? So as we say, be as visually descriptive as you can with display. Really think about telling your story. And remember that it's not just about getting clicks here. You're looking at pairs of eyeballs, seeing your ad and starting to digest what you've got to say. All right, let's just check in with Rashane. Lots of questions coming in. We love this. Where does Google Shopping fit in? Crystal, we're not touching on Google Shopping today. Google Shopping is within the Google Ads tool as well. You've got, within Google Ads, you've got YouTube ads, you've got video ads, you've got search ads, you've got display ads. Google Shopping takes it up a level. So with Google Shopping, you have to have, product catalogs in there. You're going to have to look at connecting at a deeper level, and maybe even your availability in local stores. There's loads of ways you can do that. You could be looking at Pointy, which is if you have Google Business Profile and you've got a local store, you can show what products you've got in stock in real time. Beyond what we're talking about today, there are tons of options. Best thing to do is, if you want to be getting involved in that kind of campaign, I actually really like the Performance Max campaigns in Google Ads, because what the Performance Max campaigns, and they are absolutely brand new, but what you do is, just as we were talking about before, it's machine learning, and you feed in your headlines, your descriptions, your images, even videos if you've got them, because videos work really nicely. And then you give the tool a little bit of time to work, you tell it what you want to achieve, and it will pull together the most relevant, the highest performing ads that it can across Google Search, across Google Display Network, across YouTube, across Gmail and other assets. So it's absolutely worth looking. There's a new category in your Google Ads called Performance Max. So if you want to be seen across the Google real estate, including in people's Gmails, etc., check out Performance Max and feed it as much rich imagery and as many great headlines and great descriptions as you can. And we've also just had a question come in, I can see, from Shalin, who have a business school. Where's best to generate leads for students, display or search? Well, Shalin, might not be either. It might be, and there's no one best way, but you might want to try social advertising. All right. So social media, hundreds of thousands of billions of people using social media every single day. We're talking about advertising across different networks. We've got a few here, TikTok's in there, LinkedIn's in there, Facebook, YouTube as a social media platform, Instagram, Twitter. There were loads of networks out there. And the art to social is working out where your potential users are, and first things first, matching what you're trying to say to that platform. Okay, finding those audiences. So social advertising is brilliant at the top of the sales funnel, a bit like display. If people don't know who you are yet, then you can get in front of them with social and start getting your word out there. All right. If you want to drive broad awareness, if you want to get people thinking about you before they're even ready to start taking any decisions. But actually, social is also brilliant when people already know quite a bit about you, to get that loyalty, to get those people coming back and back and back for more, to pull them in and bind them to your brand. So social is actually really useful at the top and the bottom of that funnel. Okay, so social is visual. Social should be in the moment. It's compelling. It's right there with people. All right. So social media has like lots of different things, like search does, like loads of other tools do. It has organic. I won't say free. I'll never say free, because your time isn't free. Your skills aren't free. The resources you're putting into doing this aren't free. So you've got organic, and then you've got paid. And actually, with social is one of the areas where you can't get very far on most social platforms without advertising, if I'm perfectly honest. Okay, so your organic, your views, your actions, or your clicks, you do not pay for in anything other than your time and your love and your care. With paid, you do, but you specify that I want clicks, I want views, I want actions, I want people visiting my website. Okay, be careful what you pay for. Think about making sure you're paying for valuable actions rather than just vanity traffic. All right. With organic, your content appears on your own profile, and it will appear in some of your followers' feeds some of the time. It's not going to appear in every follower's feed all the time. That's really important. If you've got 10,000 followers, it might only appear in, say, 1,000 of theirs. And they might scroll past it and not even notice it. because it's really important. You can only reach a portion of your followers at any one time, and potentially a smaller portion of their friends and followers. Right? With paid, you can specify if someone has an account on that platform, you can get your message in front of them. All right, they don't have to follow you. They do have to be on that platform. They do have to be active on that platform in order to reach them. So you can't reach my mum, for example. Here's a few differences so with a lot of visually, you'll notice some difference between paid and organic posts. One of the things that you see with organic posts is they are time-stamped. They disappear quite quickly. They are also, there's normally fewer features on them. With a paid post, they will normally always say that they're suggested in this case, or sponsored, or say ad on them. Promoted, suggested, sponsored, promoted, or ad, all mean that somebody somewhere is paying for that ad. So they'll always have that, normally quite grayed out, but it is always there. But you will have calls to action, have little buttons. You can say, do I want to like the page? Do I want to visit website? Go here, order now, whatever it is. All right. There's more in the way of text around it, and the timestamp is gone. So just because you didn't post it 10 minutes ago, that same ad can stay around quite a while, rather than dropping quite quickly if you don't get quite immediate engagement. All right. Here, similarly, we've got on Instagram, shop, the paid post has shop now. It's got calls to action. It's got extra features that you can have. Whereas the one on the left is just a nice image that will drop down eventually. That call to action is really key. What would if you could ask them, if they could take one action, what would it be? Make sure you include that. Make it really easy for them. Here again, with this particular post on Twitter, you can see that the promoted is there. It's a bit of a bigger ad. There's a bit more in the way of info around going on. All right. So look, before you get involved in any kind of ads, have a presence on the profile, on the platform rather, and get involved. See what works, see what doesn't, see what you like, see what calls to action people are doing. Okay. So where should you advertise? There is no one right place. There is no one right way of doing any of this. It's all about where your customers are, where your message will be best noticed and best received. All right. I would, however, suggest you focus. All right. So really do some research about where you're going to do. When you're thinking about social media, partly it's my job, but I'm probably active on 4 or 5 social media platforms for different reasons. I've got Facebook for catching up with births, marriages and deaths and what's going on with the family. I've got Twitter for keeping up with news. I've got Instagram for looking at lovely pictures of cats and holidays and, meals out. And then I've got LinkedIn for professional things, So different platforms for different reasons. Depending on what you want to achieve, your objective is going to help you to start choosing which platform to focus on. The audience that you want to be working with, there again, what platform are they on and why? Then you have to create some beautiful looking ads. And it's also really important to keep your budget in mind with all of the platforms we've spoken about, actually, all of the methods of doing it. So the great news is that the social media platforms want you to advertise with them. So they are giving you tons of information about the people who are likely to be on their platform, what sorts of things they're interested in, what they've looked at before. You can target, if you've got sports shoes, you can target people in a local area who have shown an interest in various different types of sport, for example. Okay, so you can really look at it down. You can start to see, as you start to pull an ad together, you'll start to see the likely size of the audience within that platform, and also how many people you would be expected to reach. Sometimes they won't let you reach. They won't actually let you serve the ad if your target group is too small. Quite often, you need to have a big enough pool to make it worth the while. And you can also ask your customers what social networks they use. where they would expect to see you. And that will help you to find more people who look like them. Great way to look at it is what your competitors are doing. All right. See where your competitors are getting traction. Don't just think about the competitor who does the exact same thing down the road from you. Look at best practice from people in different cities doing a similar job. Look at people who serve the same kind of customers you. Say you're in financial services and you're looking for those, professionals are doing pretty well in their job. Look and see what the solicitors that target the same people are doing. Look and see what the accountants that target the same sort of people are doing. Look at expanding your pool. So you're not just always a follower. How are you going to get out ahead and bring innovation and bring new things to your target market? You can look and see where, now when you're starting to think, okay, where am I winning? Make sure you're looking at your web analytics. If you're driving people to a website, look and see. If you go to Google Analytics, this is the acquisition report. You can see how people found you or how you acquired that traffic. Are the social platforms working for you? Here we can see YouTube's doing well. Don't forget YouTube is a social media platform. Okay. Lots of different ways you can target. All right. So we've gone beyond geography and demographics here, although they all have those ways you can target. But what's phenomenal about social is interest targeting. All right. So what people are interested in, what life events, just for a giggle, all right, announce and tell people that this is what you're doing and why. But if you announce an engagement on Facebook, for instance, and watch how the ads change, you'll start getting ads for wedding venues and wedding dresses and caterers and all sorts of things. With Twitter, you can look at who people are following. You can find somebody who's an influencer in your area and target people who follow that person because they're interested in what that person's got to say. With LinkedIn, if you're in the business-to-business world and you want to find all of the site managers who work in a particular industry over a particular size or under a particular size of company, then you can absolutely use the tools to target that kind of audience, right? So think about these targets as people. What are they interested in? What platforms are they using? It's really important, okay? And different social networks. So imagine if I wanted to target people who are living in Leeds and following my competitors, I could absolutely do that using Twitter, if that's where I think my audience are hanging out. All right. If I want females living in Coventry who like jewelry and have a birthday coming up, then Facebook is my place to do that sort of thing. All right. So really think about what you've got. Okay, I can see we've had a few questions coming in. Okay, so Marie, no, Google isn't saying that you use Google Ads to run social media. The Google Digital Garage doesn't just focus on Google products. So Marie, we're only talking about, it would be weird if I came on here and talked about digital advertising and didn't talk about social, because it's such an important part. It's not something that Google themselves are involved in. So you can't manage your social media ads on the Google platform, but it's definitely when people are asking what's the best way, display is great in some circumstances, search is great in other circumstances, and social's great in other circumstances too. Hope that makes sense. Amazing. Right, we're coming to the end of our time together. How quickly an hour goes. What I'd love you to do is let Rochelle know what your next steps are. Make an intention. Tell the universe what it is you're going to do next. That intention setting really helps. It also helps us to understand whether we're hitting the mark, what we're and where we might want to go next. One of your next steps, if you're based here in the UK and you work for a small business or for a charity, might be to sign up for a free Google mentoring session. And do make use of this free resource. Spend some time one-to-one with someone who can help you take those next steps that we've thought about today. Sign up for that at g.co/UK mentoring. Other than that, as I say, our time is pretty much up. Thank you so much for your questions. We love sessions when there are tons of questions coming on in, but I've got to wrap up here. Hope it's been a useful dive into the wonderful world of advertising. I would always say do your learning when it's organic, and all you're paying for is your time and resources. But don't be afraid, especially if you've got that sales target to hit, look at boosting with ads, depending on, now you have a really good broad knowledge. It's about going in on each of those tools. This was only ever going to be an introduction into tons of different tools. But do look at the way, especially within the Google Ad platform, let it do the heavy lifting for you. Use that machine learning either with smart campaigns or those Performance Max campaigns as well. We're running loads more Google Digital Garage webinars in different subjects. Check out the schedule. It's linked through in website below. Come back and join us for more learning. We've got also there's learning 24/7 with some online courses, and there are also obviously those one-to-one mentoring. Other than that, thanks for Rushane for being amazing. We've got lovely Tyrone behind the scenes as well. I've been Christine, and it's been my pleasure to guide you through this session this morning. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and we will look forward to welcoming you again to another Google Digital Garage training session sometime soon. Have a great day.